Hello, Courtney Runyon. I am so excited to be sitting here in Australia and talking to you in Texas because you have an amazing story to share. And I know my clients who I tap with and also my fellow practitioners are going to love listening to your story. So thank you so much for agreeing to come and talk to us and inspire us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me, and howdy y'all. Just kidding, we don't really talk like that here. But actually I say y'all all the time, just not howdy. But I'm so happy to be on in this crazy time we're living in right now.
Exactly. So Courtney, I'm going to jump right in. You're a 35-year-old woman, and in 2017, your life changed.
Yeah.
You didn't know it at the time because it took 9 months to get a diagnosis, but you were struck by a serious autoimmune disease called C.I.D.P, which attacks your peripheral nerves. And I think you started with your thumb going numb and your leg going numb, and before you knew it, you couldn't lift your arms. So what was it like to be stuck in that? Because I believe you felt like you were trapped in your body.
Yeah. You're so good. You've got like all the facts so perfect. Yeah. It was in 2017. So I was 32 years old when it started, and I was living my best life. I mean, I really was. But on top of that, I really thought I had life figured out. I was just like, this life thing, killing it. I was super happy, meditating every day, green smoothies for breakfast. And like you said, my thumb started getting numb, and then my calf went numb, and then I couldn't run. Like it felt like I had 100-pound vest on, and I was just like you're running through water or something. Not even like through sand. But anyways, it just, yeah, over time, that, like you said, it took 9 months to get diagnosed. It took about 6 months before I would say I was considered disabled. But it progressed until I was paralyzed from the neck down. And what being paralyzed feels like, physically what it feels like, mentally is a different story, but physically, it was interesting. And I think if you wanted to see what it felt like, you could put your hand on a table. So whoever's listening, you put your hand on a table and then push your fingers into the table, and you can feel the pressure of you trying to push through. It's almost like you can feel that pressure into that table, but your finger's not going anywhere. And that's what it feels like to me, even still, because I still have some mobility issues in my hands and stuff. But I can feel myself trying, and it just feels like I'm pushing against a wall, but I'm not getting there. It's just like a hard wall, but I can feel that pressure and that effort. It's an interesting feeling.
Wow. Yeah. And I can't believe when I look at you now, you look so mobile, and I mean, you look paralyzed from the neck down. So yeah. I want to know, I would love you to share with everyone, what did it take to get your life back? Because I really believe, what interested me about your story was that you related your condition to stress. And that's what we reduce in a tapping session, the stress in people's lives. And sometimes we don't even know we're living with stress because we're on such a treadmill, or it's so hardwired. So how did stress contribute to your condition?
Yeah, so that's the craziest thing. And I just had a conversation with someone earlier on this exact same thing, is even though I was so happy before, or I'm happy now, but before I was so happy. And I think that, at least for me, I didn't really realize that you could be under so much stress, because I think of stress as a really negative thing, but I felt no negative in my life, negativity for the most part, only mostly joy. But I was so stressed out of my mind that I didn't realize it until I was in the hospital paralyzed, and I'm like, maybe I was pushing too hard. But it was strange, Stress is such a big part of my story, and I think that it is so underestimated and undervalued, and like not discussed enough. When I tell people I have a chronic condition, one of the first things they say is, have you changed your diet? you know, what foods make you flare? And people put so much emphasis on diet. And I think it's because it's measurable. Like, okay, I ate corn and I had a flare up, or I ate 1,500 calories or 2,500. It's very like, it's very quantitative or whatever. But stress is not. It's like, you can't really see it. You can't get on MyFitnessPal and be like, well, I was at a 9 level of stress today. I counted. And so it's because it's not easily seen or measured, I think that it can really fly under the radar and you don't even know how much stress you're under. And stress can be mental stress, but it can also be physical stress. Like I was flying on airplanes 2 or 3 times a week. That's really hard on your body. And I was going in and out of different time zones. And there's just so many different kinds of stress you can put your body through. And I did all of them. I was living in Las Vegas, living the Las Vegas life. But also to that, I'm like a little hippie girl at heart. Like I want to hug all the trees. And I was living in Las Vegas because that's where my ex-boyfriend lived and his life was there. So I moved there. But just like you have to choose your tribe, you need to live in a place that is in alignment with who you are. And some people are super in alignment with Las Vegas. I'm not. So that was one of my main stressors. My job was a stressor because we got bought out by a big company and it just lots of changes, blah, blah. I won't bore you with that. And then my third stressor was my boyfriend. He liked to party more than he liked to work. And someone that's always been financially responsible, talking about myself, I was absorbing a lot of his financial choices, which weren't healthy for me. So those are really, really stressful. Anyways, I could go in so many tangents from there, but what I'll say is I was declining for 12 months, slowly losing my life through my fingertips, losing things one by one. You know, couldn't dry myself off with a towel, couldn't open jars, couldn't run, couldn't lift my hands to my head, you know, couldn't each day. And until I got out of Vegas, went on disability and got out of my job. And then the last thing I let go of was my boyfriend. I started improving 2 days after I broke up with my boyfriend. And that was the last stressor. And you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. I really, really believe that.
I read that quote from you and I thought that is incredible, that it is so true. Yes, you can't heal the same environment that made you sick.
I wish you could.
Yeah. So you really took control and started to change things when you realized that stress was probably responsible for this condition.
Oh yeah, and I left that big part of my story out. So my condition was triggered by stress. I had 2 really stressful weeks in December of 2016, and my symptoms started in January 2017. So yeah, you know, when you go to the doctor, they say, did you have a viral infection? Did you have a stressful event? And I had 2 really stressful, that was what caused the onset of my symptoms. Sorry, I left that very important part out.
Okay, so wow, what a journey you've been on. Now, when it comes, so there you are, you're paralyzed. So what goes through your head in terms of healing? Because I know that you had some very specific thoughts about your condition and your future. So what went through your head in terms of, am I going to get out of this? Did you feel sorry for yourself? What pulled you through?
Oh, so many things, really. And I have so many answers that just flew through my head. I'll build on what we just were talking about. Another phrase or quote that I really love is that was going through my head at the time was nothing ever leaves you until it's taught you what it needs to teach you. And I really embraced that and thought, okay, I'm going to stay this way and I'm never going to heal in the way I want to heal or have the kind of recovery I want to have until I really address what I need to learn and what I need to change. So I took that to heart. But I think one of the things that really stuck out in that time is love. Like I had such a good support system and that pulled me through big time. Like I really think love can heal. And and love can help you believe in yourself, but also self-love. If you have, I knew that I wouldn't recover in the way I wanted to if I had negativity in my body, whether that was negative self-talk or hating my situation or hating who I was or hating what happened to me or feeling sorry for myself or being angry at my ex-boyfriend for, his choices regarding my health. Like, I knew that all of those things would keep me sick. So I was trying to do my best to love. It's kind of like you fall in love with what you have or you fall apart.
Amazing.
Those are your options.
Yeah. And so how did you go about engendering this feeling of love and letting go all the negativity?
Oh my gosh.
Did you do any courses? Did you read anything? Or did you meditate?
I think, the story that comes to mind, I was at my gym, and I was going to my gym, and I was walking from machine to machine on my walker and could barely stand up from the equipment, but I was smiling. And the manager, I talked to him sometimes, he came up and he was like, Courtney, what books do you read? Like, what personal development do you do? Like, I see you on your walker at 33 years old at the time, going from machine to machine on a walker, and you're just like smiling like nothing's wrong. He's like, what are you reading? Kind of same question. But what I answered him with was just, I like the way being happy feels. So it wasn't that I was finding that strength through books, although I do love Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra is my homeboy. Love that man.
I'm busy doing a 21-day meditation challenge with Deepak Chopra and a whole bunch of people.
And Oprah?
No, it's just him, I think. I've just started.
Oh my gosh, I love him so much. He says everything he says is like poetry. I love him. Yeah. But my mom told me forever ago, she said her 30s were her favorite time in life. I love my mom. And I was sitting there one day, paralyzed from the neck down in my wheelchair, living with my parents. I had lost my home, my boyfriend, my job, moved across the country from all my friends, lost all my money, lost my health. And I was sitting there thinking, like I lost my ability to even take a shower by myself or feed myself. And I was sitting there thinking, this could be really sad. It could be really sad. I'm in the first few years of my 30s, and this is going on, and I could lose these years of my life, getting through them, surviving them, so I can get to the other side to a more normal situation. Or I could figure out, that made me sad. I was like, or I can figure out how to love these years just as much as the last few years and the next few years. And that made me feel happy. I was like, that makes me feel like this won't be a waste of time or a waste of my life or a catastrophic event. Because if I can love this situation, if I can find ways to make this just as much fun in a different way, then I won't be mad that this happened. So that was kind of a mentality. I don't know if that answers your question, but that was kind of like a source of strength to find joy or love or self-love or happiness through the freaking mess.
Oh my goodness. And what you've hit on there is gold when it comes to healing, I feel. Because you're not waiting for, when I can walk again, maybe I'll have a good life. You're choosing right now. And when you read all these amazing spiritual texts, it's like all we have is now. Mm-hmm. And operating in the now, telling yourself now that I'm okay and that life can be great, mm-hmm. I think what a critical factor in your healing. And I'd just like to read, because that just colored your attitude towards your condition. Because I've watched some of the videos of you having therapy and you're trying to walk, and you can just see the determination on your face, but your legs aren't quite doing what they're supposed to do. And you worked with Dr. Lauren Phillips at UTS Southwestern Medical Center. And let me read what she said. She said, your attitude was key to how well you did. Courtney took the bull by the horns and got things done, and nothing slowed her down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her. She's the best neurologist. Like, makes me cry. Just like it took me a minute, and I'm sure that you and your colleagues and stuff can relate, that maybe by the time some of your patients get in front of you, they're desperate. They've seen 10 practitioners. They've tried 19 different things. They've been through the ringer, and they just are desperate for someone that can help them. And a lot of practitioners, whether it's a neurologist or tapping or whatever, maybe not as much tapping. I think people in tapping are very spiritual and stuff, but a lot of practitioners, you know, they don't always have a sense of urgency, probably because they're exhausted, but it's hard sometimes to find that practitioner that cares as much as you do. And I feel like my Dr. Lawrence Phillips was that way. I was perilously neck down just in front of her, like, please help me. And she did. And she's been there. It's been awesome. Yeah. You know, a good practitioner, no matter what kind of practitioner you are, or what field you're in, or how you help heal people, your choice of words are so important, because, sorry for the airplane. Hashtag quarantine life. Everyone's stuck at home. But a practitioner, your words are so important and so impactful, because that patient hears what you, the professional, says and repeats it over and over and over again, like an affirmation to their parents, to their kids, to their friends, to their spouse. Like, they're like, what did the doctor say? What did your naturopath say? Like, how did that go? What did they think? And they just repeat. And your words become their words. And it's nice when you find that healer that can put great words in your mouth, not lie to you, but choose words that are positive affirmations that can help. You know, one of the affirmations that helped me get into remission was just 3 words. And it was, I'm in remission. I said it to myself all the time. I'm in remission. I'm in remission. And then I started to, at first I didn't believe it. And then I started to find reasons to believe it naturally. Like, I was just like, maybe I really am in remission. Like, I was kind of just trying to practice this affirmation, but like, now that I think of it, I don't like feel a boost for my medication or anything. Maybe it really isn't doing anything. And it gave me bravery to get off medication. It was interesting. But anyways, that was a tangent.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, Dr. Phillips, grab it by the horn. Because I would do things like, I would go in there and be like, hello, Miss Phillips, Dr. Phillips. You're my neurologist. I'm thinking about walking 500 miles across the country in Spain, the Camino de Santiago. Can I just get like a bag of steroids or something in case I have like a complete meltdown out there? And she's just like, wow. Okay, cool.
Oh, and we're going to get to the Camino. Yeah. You are my soul sister, because
girl,
we've both done that amazing journey.
Pilgrim power.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So what really grabbed me as well is that you said you felt it was important to form your progress and to show that your method of positive healing could work. And you've inspired so many people, because you showed your those early stages of trying to walk and then getting to that stage where you could walk the Camino. So what a gift to the world and these times we live in, you know, that anyone who's sitting at home and they're feeling that their world is imploded because they've lost their job, these strange times we're living in, you can really start with your mind and build positivity and decide to be happy right now. And as you say, working with the right practitioner is key. And that's what I think we really do as tapping faster EFT practitioners, is we instill such belief in our clients that they can heal. I don't believe anything is a barrier except stress, and that we can get rid of. And Courtney, that was my story as well with Hashimoto's. I was amazed at how many well-meaning medical professionals said, I'm terribly sorry, but you've got this for the rest of your life. Don't worry, the medication's great. Just keep going. So, and luckily I didn't believe that story either, because I, like you, I believed that my body had the power to heal. So, gosh, I just love all of this, and I think people are going to get such a lot out of this today.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet.
And what I'd like to just tell my listeners and my viewers is something else that you told yourself. You decided that you wanted to have therapy by the beach, yoga, etc. And you said, I would close my eyes and picture myself on a beach with a red dress in your future. You brought your future to you. Did you get on the beach with your red dress?
I did, with my mom and my sister.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that was my go-to vision. You know, it just came to me one day, but there would be times where I'd be laying in my bed and I would be really uncomfortable because I couldn't move. So imagine, you know, as you're listening to this, you may notice in the next 5 minutes as I'm putting awareness to it, but you know, your leg hurts, so you shift your weight to the other side. Your hair's in your face, you move it. Your shirt's falling down, you fix it. You cross your legs one way, then you cross them the other way. And I couldn't adjust anything. So these little things that you adjust without thinking about them because your body just gets uncomfortable, so you fix it. Mine would just get uncomfortable and then it would turn to pain because I couldn't shift weight or move or scratch or itch. So there'd be times that I'm laying in bed and my body would start itching. I would have like pressure on my butt bone because I had so much muscle atrophy. I had like no butt. And my hair would be in my face and I would just be like, I'm so frustrated right now. And I would just like close my eyes and envision myself dancing on a beach in a red dress just to feel what it felt like to be on my feet again, because I couldn't walk for 7 months. I couldn't stand for 7 months. And actually my arms were paralyzed for a year, even longer. But, so it's just like, I just wanted to see what it felt like to be on my feet again and be free of my body, not feel like I was in this straitjacket. And, yeah. And eventually my mom and my sister took me down to the beach. My best friends in high school threw me a surprise party and I walked in and they had a red dress hung up. And so that was the dress I took down to the beach with, you know, my fam, and went and walked around and did the whole dance thing. And yeah, there is a lot, you know, you brought up the yoga in foreign countries and stuff. You know, that going way back to the beginning of this conversation, you know, going with the, like, how can I love this time period? How can I make this time period so much fun? And it came down to, I could either go to physical therapy in Texas twice a week in this like old dirty hospital gangster room, or I could go to Mexico, and I did that, or Guatemala, did that, both of them for 3 weeks each, and do yoga 3 hours a day surrounded by monkeys and birds chirping and the whole thing. So those have been the choices I've made to try to rehab my body, but also just love, yeah, this time period when I have all this rehab to do.
And then you had that other vision of walking the Camino. So let's go to that, Courtney. Now that's how I found you. I was busy scrolling. I have my hashtag on Instagram, Pilgrim, Camino de Santiago. And suddenly there you pop up and everybody, she's called Unicourt. Yeah. And I was mesmerized because you also, you managed to describe things so beautifully. And I actually shared something on I've got a little Camino Facebook page, and it was you with your Spaniard. And you wrote there, the food was fresh and healthy. And I didn't know when I'd see healthy food again, because we know what it's like eating on the Camino. It's lots of coffees and pastries. Anyway,
kidding.
and then you say, secondly, I finally quit dodging the Spaniards' kisses. And for the first time in 2 years, after months and months of sickness, rehabilitation, and heartbreak, I cuddled up to a guy and got something I desperately needed. I got held.
Yeah. And
that was so beautiful. What a culmination of this 2-year period. So, yeah, Courtney, you walked the 500 miles across Spain. Can you describe what that was like?
Yeah, and you know, that vision first came on my radar like 7 or 8 years ago when I went backpacking around the world, way before autoimmune. And I always thought, well, I'm going to go hike the Camino one day. But, you know, you need like 5 weeks to do that. So I just never did it. And then I find myself paralyzed in the hospital. And it was one of those thoughts where I was just like, I never went and did it. Like, I always wanted to do that. And I put it on the back burner and I made everything else more important. But that was important to me and I didn't do it. And I was just like, as soon as I can, it's like literally the minute I'm strong enough, I'm going to go do it. And that's going to be how I celebrate walking again. So I think had I gone to walk the Camino 2 weeks earlier, I would have got hurt. I mean, I literally went, I fell on the first day, pretty bad fall, but I literally went borderline right when I was maybe strong enough to go. So yeah, I went and it started out a little harder than I was expecting. And the Camino wasn't what I expected, but it was what I needed. Like I went there to try to like get stronger and like build muscle and continue rehabbing and like prove I could do it. But to be honest, it turned into a bit of a wine walk. And I drank like a bottle of wine every night. And I met a Spaniard and was making out with this Spaniard when I hadn't kissed a boy in like 2 years. And, you know, because I've been in and out of hospitals. And like, I met these crazy hippies and like, I ate all the sugar, all the baked goods, but I had been eating like strict paleo for like, you know, an autoimmune diet, anti-inflammatory. So the Camino turned into just like, after a couple of years of just, you know, working so hard to get back on my feet, literally and figuratively, I just went and had a really good time. I just walked across Spain, just letting loose. So it ended up being exactly what I needed, not necessarily, it didn't end up being what I thought it was going to be, but it was great. But yeah, I don't know, the day that I finished was interesting. I was just like, God, you know, I've been working for a few years now and I've been thinking about this day for so long, and it was bittersweet, honestly. You would think more victorious, but it was a bit bittersweet.
I agree.
Like almost.
I agree. Nobody wants to get to Santiago because then it's just reveling in life, the present, and friendship, and time, and space, and freedom. It all comes to an end. And I guess that's when you have to learn how to take it home. Or if you're like me, you plan your next one.
Yeah, I know. I want to go walk the Portuguese route this year. Eventually, it has to be towards the end of the year.
Amazing.
Maybe October.
Do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end off asking you what comes next for you. And I know that by just doing a little bit of research on you, that you are doing motivational speaking, and you also are taking women on the Camino. Is that something? Yeah. Is that something that you see growing in your future? And what else is in store for you? What are your dreams?
Yeah, we'll see. You know, the whole coronavirus thing people are talking about. You know, just kidding. I know it's a really big deal, but it's kind of changed everyone's plans. But I guess more so than changing, I just postponed my plans, which is I'm starting to do women's retreats because traveling has been such a big part of my healing in a lot of different ways. And I just want to like kind of share, you know, my retreats aren't going to be like, let's go to the Ritz-Carlton and drink a bunch of margaritas. Like I want to show the kind of Camino experience, or Guatemalan, you know, sweat lodge type yoga type experience, like the meaningful, transformative type of travel. I just want to share that. So I am starting to do women's retreats and the motivational speaking when we're all allowed to get together again. And I'm throwing around the idea of coaching, but those are a few things. Oh, I have a book coming out, or it's me with 5 other women have a book of kind of a tragedy to triumph thing coming out in June or July. It's called The Art of Unlearning. Yeah, and then I think I'm just gonna, once I'm allowed, I'm going to continue, good English there, Courtney, traveling around the world, finding different ways to heal my body, you know, kind of as I go. Maybe go get my yoga teacher training, maybe learn how to do tapping, like just kind of continue traveling to heal.
Well, I really think you're going to be a success at all those things, whatever you choose to do. And I'll be following you. And anyone else who wants to follow her, she's very active on Facebook as the Unicourt and on Instagram. And I really want to thank you for just brightening this whole day. Your story is amazing. It's one of hope and inspiration and love and the human spirit, and it's layered into my work. It makes me really excited to meet people like you. And Courtney Runyon, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom today.
Thank you, and it's so nice to meet you. I love your light-hearted, loving, like sunshiny personality. You're definitely a lighthouse, I can tell. So thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you.